Golf tip.
Golf fitness tip of the week.
Yes.
What I want to talk about today is we hit on shoulders last time. Very important to have shoulder mobility. Same thing goes for your hips. So what I want to hit on today is mobility of your hips and things that you should do before you tee off. Easy, doesn't take long. So if you want to hit on that, that you can do.
Well, really, my wife has told me before I tee off, I should count to 10. You know, and just take a time out, maybe grab a pillow. Is that what you're talking about?
No, on the tee box on the golf course.
Okay.
All right, come on, Jeff. Get your head game.
All right, so we're talking about hips.
Yep, we're talking about hips.
Okay, so before we tee off, once again, our muscles are not warm, so we don't want to put them through any major stretch. We're not going to do any what's called static stretching. It's a traditional pull and hold, stretch and hold.
Yep.
We're doing ballistic stretching, which means we're moving that joint through a range of motion, and we're warming up that joint, getting it loose. Of course, there's muscles surrounding that joint that, as we go through that range of motion, they're getting stretched. And so that's really what we're concentrating on with that ballistic stretch. And so to target the hips, and we've talked about this particular one before, is just the leg swing. Pretend this is my golf cart. You got a golf cart out there. Perhaps you are carrying your bag. You know, set it down and use it for support. Okay, use your partner for support. But we're just going to do big leg swings here. All right. Another one we could do. Once again, we're just holding on. We're going to get our leg out here, and we're just going to do big hip circles. There you go. Okay. We can go outside to in, inside to out. We want to go both ways. Really, ballistically, that's the extent of what we want to do. We want to do plenty of it.
Doesn't take long.
Right.
And it'll get you ready, warmed up. So.
Right. What do you see whenever people don't properly warm up and get those muscles loose before teeing off?
Yeah, when it comes to the hips, the key is to getting the club in the right position so you hit the sweet spot like I talked about, maximizing distance and squaring the club face to your target. Okay, so if you don't get your hips released through and pivoted correctly in this position, it's going to be hard to get the club to drop on the right plane and the right path. Okay, so what I tend to see with people that aren't flexible with their hips and can't pivot is they just swing mainly with their arms, and then they're in this position at impact. Okay, what that means is it's all timing, so you have to be able to swing through with your hands, which takes a lot of skill to hit the sweet spot and square to the target. Okay, so consistency-wise, by having good mobility and flexibility of your hips, you can swing more and pivot correctly, which gets you in a better position here at impact, which allows you to swing through to your target to a balanced finish.
And how are you going to hit the ball if you don't have that? What's going to happen to the ball?
Yeah, the ball, more times than likely, what people do, especially when they tee off with their driver for the first shot, they're not warmed up, they're not doing any of the things that you just demonstrated. They get up and they swing with their arms, and what happens is their path comes more over the top and across, which causes a spin, and that's why probably 75% of recreational golfers slice it, especially off the first tee. It goes left and then it curves to the right. So, from a golf standpoint, if you want to be more consistent, work on your hips, get that flexibility, do some of these things before you go out, get them warmed up, and then you'll have a better chance of getting the club on the right path.